putting this out on my fitness diary, if you will, to one connect with you guys, and also so you guys can know I'm imperfect. So on my cut, man, believe it or not, that's also something that in the past I was like, man, I'm excellent at. Like I know how to cut. Come to find out, I am good at cutting, but I'm better at bulking. And I never in a thousand years would have thought that as a once like subscribed to the belief that I was like a hard gainer and all this other stuff. Like it was just like I could not gain weight for the life of me. And so now that I actually know what I'm doing conceptually, I will let you know it's very surprising for me to be at a spot to where it's like I'm way better at bulking, and here's why. I was talking to my coach about it, and what we found is psychologically the reason why I'm great at bulking is because I don't want to get fat. Like the guys who you're like see on Instagram, they're like, "Oh, I'm on a bulk," and they basically turn into fucking marshmallows. That's getting fat. That's not bulking. Oh, I'm dirty bulking. No, the fuck you're not. You're just getting fat, right? And so for me, that's the reason why I can say that I gained 50 pounds and it still looked good. No, 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 just fuck with you. But the most people genuinely, you've seen it a billion and one times on Instagram. It's like when most people say they're bulking, they don't look good. But it was my inherent fear of getting fat, which is by the way part of what made it hard for me to gain to begin with, that makes me good at bulking because I want to take my time with it and I want it to be calculated so that I'm putting on as little fat as possible. Where when cutting, shaking off the fat, I want to get back to it. I want to get back to being as lean as possible, as quickly as possible. However, what you'll find is if you go down too quickly, you actually can strip off some of the muscle that you gained. Now, don't stress about it if you are in a cut and you're like, oh my God, I'm dropping too quick. A lot of the time, it's just solely you have less water in your muscle and several other things that are like causing the numbers to look deflated. Not to mention you'll re get the strength back. Like, so don't stress it. Not to mention you go through another phase where it's like right now I'm actually in the ugly phase. Like, I don't know if you guys ever grew your hair out, but there's like short hair guys that look really, really good. And there's your hair looks great when it's long, but that mid phase don't look good on most people. And so it's like the middle here. And so it's the same thing when you're bulking or cutting. You look usually great when you're on either peak of it, but that middle phase can get a little icky. And it's anyway, all this to say is like if you go down too quickly, increased likelihood that you're losing muscle. And that's what makes me not great at cutting is psychologically. There doesn't seem to be as much of a downside to me. So I'm like, just get there. And so all this to say is the things that were once an obstacle or what made it hard for me to ever like once I figured out how to overcome how to bulk, just realize like that's what made me great at building muscle and building muscle properly. Then me reverting back to my old habits of just eating how I want to eat basically and trying to and me focusing on my protein in the process. Yeah, you'll get lean, but it's like also too you could strip some of the muscle away. So lessons learned from this is one, I could over bulked if I wanted to. And then number two is we were talking about it for if I ever wanted to compete. What I would do is I would be one of those guys who have actually a more compressed prep window to where some people need 24 weeks to prep, 18 weeks to prep. I would probably not need as long. And so, anyway, just sharing this with you guys on your journey to say, hey, look, like when you figure out, and it's probably, and I'm just going to go on a limb, probably true for the people who actually, once you figure out how to lose fat and do it in a controlled manner, that's probably going to make you way better at cutting. And then when you go back to eating again to try to bulk, um, you may find that you gain it too quickly. And so it's just one of those things that it's like, always overcome your struggles, man, and the things that you overcome oftentimes uh, have huge payouts.